Hi, I'm Steff. I'm 28 and I have just finished doing the Thrive program with Tom. When I had the opportunity to do the Thrive program, I was at a point in my life where I was pretty okay. Certainly not the worst I've ever been, which may be a little bit different from the circumstances of people who are now considering doing the program, or maybe the majority of people that have done the program. But for me, I was actually in a not too bad situation. My background is that I have had therapy in my late teens and early 20s for childhood abuse. Um, this therapy, so like talking therapy, counselling, stuff like that, for me served a purpose at that time. And at that time I didn't know about Thrive. But yeah, it served a purpose of allowing me to reconcile what happened to me and my experiences with myself, to unravel it all and figure stuff out and make sense of it. However, for me, my experience of it only ever allowed me to meet this benchmark of surviving. So, all my energy went into just basic everyday like living tasks, making sure that I had a job so I could earn money so I didn't go backwards, just getting out of bed, eating, exercising if it was a really good day, and holding down a job. They were like my basics. They were like, if I can do those, and don't get me wrong, they can be really hard. For a lot of people, that is hardship to do. And for me, it was hard. But that's what therapy got me to. It got me to that point of like, okay, I can tick those boxes. I'm not going to go backwards. But I lived in fear of going backwards. And I came close a lot of times of going backwards. Like if I was run down and tired, then it was so easy to get into these spiraling negative thought patterns and feel scared and fearful and anxious and depressed. And it was so hard to get out of that, like the energy it takes. It's just beyond like what is possible. It felt, at times it just felt like I was constantly climbing up this mountain and I never had the energy. And then because I didn't have the energy, I was paranoid that I hadn't done my best, or people thought that I was weird, or that I couldn't, maintain a friendship or something, because I was just tired all the time. Every ounce of energy was just survival. And actually, like, that went on for a few years, and I got to this point of like, okay, do you know what? I get out of bed, I go to work, like, I exercise regularly. Like, I kind of, in a way, I was proud of myself. I was like, yeah, somebody with my background doing that, okay, that's fine. That's all I can expect to do, and I'm doing it, so fine. Don't be cocky. Don't look for anything else. And then I got to a point where I was fed up of that, and I was annoyed, and I saw other people, doing what I felt were the, like, I don't know, like the weird and wonderful, or the normal and wonderful everyday stuff that I wanted to do, but I felt like I couldn't do it because if I failed, then, or if it used a lot of energy and I was run down, I would go backwards. So yeah, I kind of had this in the back of my mind of like, I want to move forward, but I don't know how to, and I'm scared, like if it goes badly, the risk to me seems to outweigh the benefit. And then I heard about Thrive. Tom explained it to me like beautifully, and I had my first session with him, and it's really cheesy, but the only way, and the way that I explained to him, it was as if he had pulled back this curtain to like all the bigger things in life, like going for promotion, or like deciding you want to learn something, or like, I don't know, like all of the extras, like the bonus stuff, like the cherry on the top of the cake or whatever. Like it was as if he was like pulling that back and going, yeah, like you can have that. There's no reason why you can't do that, and I'll help you do that, or you'll help yourself do that. And that for me was really exciting. Like for the first time, probably ever, I was actually excited about what I could achieve. And I felt like, I didn't have to be worried of, pushing forward. Like suddenly I felt like I was going to learn these tools, and I got given the book and like had this wealth of information in of how I could stop just surviving and actually, oh, okay, so it is cheesy, I could actually start to thrive. And that excitement, that like fire in your belly, it's what spurred me on to keep doing it. So with Thrive, you learn about your sense of power and control, whether it's external or internal. I learned that mine was quite external, which is something that we want to improve upon. I learned about thinking styles. I had a negative thinking style, an obsessive one, a catastrophic thinking style. I think I had a bit of hypervigilance in there as well. Like there weren't many that I didn't have. I also got a self-esteem score of like 7%. And bearing in mind, when I did this, I was thinking like, yeah, life's pretty okay. And then I did this and realized how much I was holding myself back. My fear, my anxiety was stopping me from living my life to the potential, to the fullest it could be. So I think that's what I'm trying to say is like, you don't have to be in the worst place you've ever been to benefit from this. Or you can be in the worst place you've ever been and you will learn so much. I learned stuff I hadn't even considered before. I went from having this real self-depreciating sense of humour that I hadn't really realised I had, and realising, like Tom made me realise that actually that was a thinking style, or that was part of a thinking style, and that every time I kind of laughed off or made a joke of, oh, well, Steff can't possibly do this, or Steff can't possibly do that, or yeah, I'm rubbish at XYZ. It was just reaffirming this belief in myself that I was going to fail and don't bother trying. And so I learned to tackle those thoughts. I learned how to challenge, if I started to feel a spiral of thoughts. So like one little thought you have in your head that then links to another one, and you feel yourself just circling the drain. And that sense of panic that I'd get, like when that would happen, I learned how to try and control it, which has been successful. Spiraling emotions and spiraling thoughts have been a huge part of my adult life. And yeah, like now I'm pretty much on top of it. Thrive also teaches you to do positives. So you list, say 5 positives a day, which is an amazing thing to do. And I keep a list of them on my phone, and I just find it catches me. So if I find myself, just if I have like had a cold and I just like feel a bit shonky, realizing that is perfectly normal. It doesn't mean that I'm suddenly going to go on like a 3-day bender and not come back. It's just people can feel shonky. But then doing the positives, like finding a few things in that day that were good, no matter how small, it makes a huge difference. I can go from being like wanting to pull the duvet over my head and not leave the house and feeling horrendous to then I'll spend like 10 minutes just writing down a few things that are nice that have happened. And then I feel smiley and happy and like I want to go out and do something. And since doing the course, I'm furthering my education. So I've signed on to do some, I'm a personal trainer, so I've signed up to do some more courses. And I'm thinking about the future, which is something I never used to think about at all. I would plan like a month in advance, if that really. Whereas now I'm thinking long term, 5-year, 10-year plans, all of that stuff, and just living a better quality of life, which I just accepted wouldn't happen. I thought that for someone like me, I'd get up every day for the next however many years, I'd go to work, I'd come back, and I would just protect my little bubble of energy and making sure I didn't go backwards. And that doesn't need to be the case. Like if you're sitting there and you think that's your life, or you're sitting there and you've had something terrible happen and you think that you're never going to get to be like everybody else, you can. Like you got to put in the work, you got to read the book, you got to do the homework, you've got to put effort in. Like it won't fall into your lap. But Thrive has consultants, and Tom was awesome. He will help you. He's at the end of the phone. There's guidance there, and you can do it. Like, it's entirely doable. You've just sometimes got to grit your teeth and reach out and do it. And you can, and it's worth it. Like, there's so much more to life than just going to fucking work. And there's holidays to be had, and traveling, and people to meet. And yeah, I don't know. I'm rambling now, but I think it's really worth it. And yeah, I can't rate it highly enough. So yeah, go do it.